All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another weekly watch list. Been kind of off the reservation for a while, working on some other unrelated videos, but we're back into our normally scheduled programming. So without further ado, we're going to be talking about picks for the week of January 22nd to January 26th. I've changed the strategy just a little bit by adding a few trend following indicators and some oscillators here on the bottom. The main one being this one, where you can see it generally tends to find the trend really well over a 4-day period. But we're actually going to start here on the weekly. And the first name we're going to talk about is Google. So this is combining this sort of zone or box method with the trend following indicators. And if you want to check out what box method I use, I will add a link and you can check it out. It's made famous by a man named Darvis. It still works wonders even today. So let's jump right into it. First name here is Google. Broke out of this range above 140, 142 here on Friday. Friday was a pretty bullish day all around, with QQQ hitting all-time highs and SPY trading towards the top of the range. So this would have been a great trade to take on Friday. I, however, did not. So what I'm going to do, and this is usually my play when I can't get in necessarily on the breakout, is I will wait for a potential retest of the top of this zone here, of this breakout. If it doesn't happen and it keeps going up, oh well, there's a million trades out there, so no reason to panic. You can see here on the 4-day clear breakout, and on the daily, same thing. I think if we do retest 142.50 area, that would be a great point to get in for Google, and that's Google. So let's move on to Meta. Meta was stuck in this range. I would actually probably make this a little bit lower since it did already break out. This is on the weekly, and you can see now it's in a completely new range, hitting 380. The indicators definitely turned bullish a couple of weeks back. And on the 4-day, same sort of thing. You can see it's in a clear uptrend after getting out of this zone here from 280 to 335. Still in a clear top end of this range, but looks very bullish. I might wait for a slight pullback to 370, 360 if that happens. I don't know. It looks really, really strong here, as you can see on the daily. This bounce would have been an amazing place to get in, but you can see this indicator not excellent for the daily, but pretty good. I generally use it on the 4-day, and that is what it is tuned for. So if you went long right here when it had this inversion, that would have been a great time to play this breakout. You would have had to sit through this pullback, which would have been pretty gnarly, but it is what it is. So that's Meta. Let's go to Netflix. Netflix has not broken out yet on the weekly, but as you can see, trending up and looking really good. Bullish on the HFT as well. If you look at the 4-day, it's consolidating basically here at the top of this box. So if you have basically another box like that, it's consolidating here towards the top of the range. I will likely get in on some Netflix calls on Monday, depending on where this indicator ends up. And you can see on the daily, same thing, kind of hammering around this area. Might wait for a pullback to 472, see if it retests this and bounce, and then get in. So this is one I'm definitely looking at. And if we go back to the weekly, move on to Oracle. Oracle sold off after its last earnings, which was here a couple of weeks ago. And you can see on the weekly, it's turned bullish on the indicator, not on the bottom one, not on the bottom oscillator here. But if we look at the 4-day, it's trending up very nicely, and it's at the top of this range. So if it pulls back and bounces at 105, that would be a good time to get in. Or if it breaks out here past 110, I think it'll have a move higher potentially to somewhere around 115. So that's Oracle in a nutshell. On the daily, same sort of thing. You can see kind of at the top here. So I would be skeptical about getting in at the top of this range. But if we do pull back to 105 and bounce, that would be a good area to get in. And to finish us off, finally, Adobe, you can see it just triggered the inversion here. It's still bullish, although less on the HFT. And if we go on the 4-day, you can see it had a very nice push off the bottom of this zone and trying to head for 623. Has not yet inverted on the 4-day, which is sort of what I'm waiting for, although it might be a little bit of a late play if that does happen. And on the daily, you can see huge candle on Friday, very bullish. So I would wait for a slight pullback, perhaps, maybe to retest 600 or 605, 606 area. If it bounces there, I think that would be a good place to get in as well. So that pretty much covers it for next week. Mostly all tech names. As you can see, QQQ has been very strong, broke out of this range into all-time highs. If we look at the 4-day, again, looks very bullish. I wouldn't be surprised if we retest the 412 area. To be honest with you, 413, basically the top of the all-time high before this breakout, but it depends sort of what next week brings. I think there's also CPI at some point towards the end of the month, and then the Fed will be speaking. So those are two macroeconomic events to look out for. But otherwise, have a great weekend and good luck trading out there next week. See y'all next Saturday.